Jennifer Poppy. We are doing Cuadros Corner in your corner, in your house. Thank you so much for opening your doors. Again, your house reminds me of Hawaii because everything is decorated like beachy, tropical. And thank you so much for being here and sharing your story. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for coming. I love having you here, and really excited to finally get together and have this conversation.
For sure. I'm excited to share your story with the viewers and listeners. I was touching on the decorations that are inside your home. As a real estate agent, do you typically put a big importance on decorating on the interior design of a home? When there's an open house, I know people come and their first impression of the home is, of course, how everything is laid out. Do you think that's really important? And do you take a part of interior decorating?
Now, normally a real estate agent doesn't necessarily deal with the decorating or design, but for me personally, I actually started with home staging back in like 2010, 2011. And so with that, you take what the owner already has in their home and you rearrange it in a way that would be inviting for anybody when they come in. So for me personally, I do like to be part of making sure the design is pleasing and clean and welcoming, like I said.
Nice. And of course, you have a lot of lovely art on your walls. And you're an artist yourself. Can you tell us a little bit about how you started with art and, you know, how did this passion begin?
Yes. I mean, like most artists, I believe, you know, as a child, you know, we learn how to draw and color. And I had done mainly acrylic painting prior to moving to McAllen. But when I came here 2 years ago, I was introduced to the Phoenix Gallery and that wild art family over there that I love so much. And I began diving into collage art more. I had done some of that in Hawaii, and here I was like, okay, let's do this. And so you have a few of my pieces here, 3 of them there. And what I love about collage art is taking elements from different pieces, whether it's books, magazines, flowers, metal objects, whatever it is, and taking things and making one cohesive picture. And while it may be surreal and kind of out of this world, for me with the colors or the flow or the theme, to me it all goes together.
And I don't know if this is the right word to describe how I feel when I see collage art. It's very jarring to the eye, like it makes you stop wherever you're at, and because I feel like it's very nostalgic.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember when back in school, people would like cut out different things from like magazines, newspaper, and then they would decorate their like folders and journals and things like that.
Yes, you're right.
It's very reminiscent of that type of vibe.
Yes, definitely. Or like do a self-portrait from different elements.
People would like cut out like their favorite artist bands and they would like decorate it. Everyone was like, I feel like that was the first Instagram.
Hey, that's a good. We were doing IG before IG came around.
Yeah, because it's all like collage.
We're OG IG.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you've been in the Valley for 2 years.
Yes.
How has your experience been living in the 956?
Yeah, Puro 956, right? I love it.
You've accepted the culture.
Yeah. It's in mi corazón. And I am a Texas girl. My roots go deep here, as you know. My family has been here for 200 years.
Wow.
Yes, and so, but I'm more from the Central Texas area, and then after that, I lived in Hawaii for 9 years, and made my way here 2 years ago, like you said. So, I love the Valley. I wanted to be here because I love the palm trees. I wanted to be able to get to the best beach in Texas, South Padre Island. Like coming from Maui, I'm like, I need a good beach. Yeah. I'm not going to do Galveston. Sorry, you guys.
Yeah, Galveston's really dirty.
Sorry, everybody that loves it. I'm not getting in that water.
Yeah.
So, And then I had been studying McAllen for a couple of years because I have friends from college here, and I saw the homes they were buying, and I was like, what? Because real estate in Hawaii is wild. It's
really expensive.
Yes, the median house price is about $1 million.
Wow.
And it's not like what you're going to get here for $1 million. It's going to be, no. So here I was just seeing, beautiful construction and the homes, blah, blah, blah. So I thought, okay, that the cost of living is amazing. I love the people here. I mean, as we said, like we have so many friends with so much life and energy.
Yeah, so many artists.
Yeah, so many artists, entrepreneurs, and it's exciting. I feel like there have been some neat doors that have opened here, and I'm having fun exploring them.
Can you tell me the biggest difference between living in an isolated, or one of, if not the most isolated island in the whole world, compared to, a lot of people come through here going south, going north. I feel like it's like the mecca of like, I don't know, like commerce.
Definitely.
You got a bunch of people passing by. So what is that like? The biggest difference, or how does it feel?
Yeah, in some ways, people are going to think this is funny, but in some ways, living in the valley is like living on an island. So I can relate to it in many ways because even though we're part of Texas, we're still like so far away, and culturally we're a little bit different. And so I still kind of feel like I'm on an island, and I'm okay with that. Yeah. Like I've lived there on an island so long, I'm like, this is cozy for me, to feel like I'm part of something, but I'm also not part of something. Yeah, like we have our own world here.
Yeah, it's like its own bubble.
Yes, we have our own culture going on here and life, and I think that's cool. Commerce-wise, it's very interesting. On Maui, there aren't a ton of, stores and restaurants. There are some, and we have some really high-end luxury, of course, and then we have the, what I love, like more of the locally owned small businesses with, I love that flavor. Whereas here, I feel like there's 3 of everything. Like some people might be like, oh, there's nothing here. I'm like, literally, there's 3 of everything and like 20 HEBs. There's no HEB in Hawaii. And we had, like, when Target came to Maui, it was a big deal, and I think we probably have like 62 Targets. I don't know, maybe 5.
Here in the valley?
Yeah, I'm joking. Maybe 5. I don't know, but there's a lot.
Yeah.
So there's, things like that. This place is full of commerce, like you said. Yeah. With us being so close to the border, we have some of the highest revenues in the whole U.S.
Yeah, here. Back in, I think, 2015 or something, I heard that one of the stores in the mall earned more from Black Friday than in New York. I forgot what the store was, but it's because a lot of people come shopping here from Mexico and up north because, it's just a little bit more, you could find more things, I feel, here versus like up north. Yes. And I believe like our Home Depot and places like that are some of the highest grossing businesses in the whole U.S. People don't realize. So for those of us that have never gone to Hawaii, can you give us the 411 on like how many islands there is? Do you remember that? Like, oh, you're putting me on the spot. Like how many islands were there? Like what is it, like the size of the valley in comparison, or like tell us that. Okay, I'll tell you a little bit. Maui has about 120,000 people on the whole island. Okay, is that the biggest island? No, it's not the biggest island. The biggest island is called Big Island. Big Island. Just to be clear. That'd be funny if the biggest island was called Little Island. Yeah, right. They're not trying to play like mind games over there. But it would be funny. So Oahu is where Honolulu, Waikiki are located, and that's where the majority of the people live. Yeah. And that's where a lot of people vacation. So it's more busy. There might be nightlife there, that kind of thing. Maui, where I lived, is one of the favorite islands amongst tourists.
There's a little bit of everything, but for nightlife, literally, I mean, there might be some, I don't know, but when the lights go down, when the sun goes down, you go home, you go to bed.
Yeah.
There aren't a lot of...
It's more chill.
Yeah, it's so chill. Like, you just go home.
Yeah.
It's just go home.
So would you surf and do all that type of stuff?
I've surfed some, did more body surfing, or and then with the and also some stand-up paddle boarding.
Oh wow.
It's fun, but I also find it a little boring unless there's waves, because you're just whatever.
So what was your, like, a day in the life for Jennifer Poppy in Hawaii?
Yeah, so on top of just being me, I'm also a mom.
Oh,
and
wow.
so I have 3 kids. And so a day in the life in Hawaii when I was there, it was, we had moved there when my boys were 3 and 8 years old. So it started, so there was like mommy.
How old are they now?
Yeah, now those boys are 19 and 14.
Wow.
I know, and they're like over 6 feet tall. So,
Taller than you.
But back off, ladies. And no, I'm just playing. And I have a daughter also, and her name's Isla. She's an island girl.
Isla?
Isla.
Like Isla?
Like Isla.
Wow.
Yeah, so I like names that go like Spanish or English. So we did, so Isla Joy, when she and I, a typical day, like I would take my boys to their school, and then I would take Isla to the beach, and we'd meet up with friends there, both of us, like my mommy friends and her little friends, and we'd hang out at the beach in the morning, or we'd go hiking in the mountain. And then I was a realtor there also.
Wow.
And so I would, go to the office or, do open house and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So when did you start in real estate then?
I started behind the scenes in 2013 with marketing. And then in 2019 is when I got my license in Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So then in 2013, you were back here in Texas?
No.
Wait, 9 years. 9 years you were in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And so what made you come back to Texas?
Yeah, so I had already been considering coming back to Texas just because most of my family is here, and I loved the island life, but going through the pandemic over there was truly traumatic. Not for health reasons, but because of the way the government in Hawaii handled the pandemic. I've had many friends leave. It was crazy.
Can you talk about how they handled it?
I mean, we can. Hopefully no one comes after me, but I won't tell you all my secrets. But no, it was really strict over there. And the rules that they put in place were held in place well after the rest of the U.S. let go of restrictions. So we had rules like we couldn't be in vehicles with anybody else other than our family. We couldn't sit on the beach.
Wow.
And we couldn't be with other people on the beach either.
Yeah.
So there were cops that would come with beach vehicles and like,
ask you, is that your son? Is that your daughter? Like that?
Well, not just that, but like I had an experience where they were saying my kids cannot sit in the chair on the beach. And that was right as that rule was enacted. We didn't know about it. And there were drones flying around the beaches saying, there are stay-at-home orders. If you're on the beach, you have to be 6 feet apart. You must be moving, like drones.
Yeah, that's like futuristic.
Yes, it was intense, and there's even footage of some Hawaiian families where the kids have never seen a drone like that before, and it's talking and they were getting in trouble for fishing.
Wow.
It's kind of comical to look back, but I remember for Mother's Day, my friends and I were like, it's Mother's Day. What are they gonna do? Like we're having a barbecue at the beach, and so we did. I think. And no, we did. And it was so funny because we were fine. Like we had our potluck and everything out there. But driving back home, I saw a cop at another beach and, going to families that were having barbecues for Mother's Day. And you just see, this is what we would do. This is so funny because you'd had to be moving if you're at the beach. So they would just be like doing lunges all of a sudden.
Oh, wow. So
or squats. Like we literally would do that. Like just start lunging.
That's
and like
funny.
literally you see a dad like at the grill, like start like squatting and lunging just to look like movement.
Well, that's hilarious.
People were getting tickets of up to $5,000 or a year in prison for sitting to watch sunset.
Do you think the reason why they were so strict was because maybe of the size of the island and how everyone's more closer?
The reasoning behind it was because there was only one main hospital, and there, if there were an issue, then it could be like horrifying. But just the way it was handled was very restrictive. Of course, our kids had to stay home for schooling long after others were back in school. Just a lot of rules. And like I said, really strict, where you would, a year in prison or a $5,000 ticket is what they would pass out. I don't know if they enacted it, but that's what, we couldn't go to the other islands unless we quarantined for 2 weeks at a time.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, without being testing positive or anything. It's just you had to quarantine.
So then, good thing you came over here, right?
Yeah. So that was the part of, so getting back to like the motivation, another thing that happened was the airline stopped flying direct to the mainland.
Really?
Yes. And so it makes you realize, oh my gosh, the airlines really can just stop coming here. And what if my family needs me over there, my parents, whatever?
You have to travel by boat or what?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can't, and the island is dependent on the food, unfortunately. All of that, it just brings it to life. And so that summer I flew back to Texas with my family, and it took 28 hours because of the layovers. It should take 8 hours. It took 28.
So you did mention that your family has deep roots in Texas for over 200 years, right? What part of Texas?
I mean, all over. I'm from Central Texas, but like East Texas, Central Texas.
Is that Austin?
Yeah, more Austin.
So you're weird. So you're weird.
I mean, I'm not. I mean, I could
that's what
be.
they say about Austin.
I mean,
keep Austin weird.
I keep Austin weird. I mean, I think I'm fun. Maybe that is weird.
No, but where did that come from? That saying.
Keep Austin weird?
Yeah.
I mean, because Austin is like creative, a little weird, right? It's different from the rest of Texas, right?
I mean, I guess every place could be weird in its own way.
Yeah.
But that place was very like, we're going to use it as a catchphrase. But
yeah, keep Austin weird. I don't know. I think just the creative mode, and I think it's a big music scene there.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And then
it's very artsy.
Yeah, exactly. And kind of a mecca for people from all over now too,
Yeah, that's true.
But something funny, I mean, I don't know if it's funny, but it's interesting. Two things. One, I was born in Victoria, Texas. So it's kind of a little bit, it's not in the valley, but it's like
outside San Antonio, right?
Yeah, it's kind of it's kind of around.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't live there long, but I was born there. And then some of my ancestors had land down here as well, years and years ago. They didn't have air conditioning back then, and so they did not stay.
Oh, that's why they moved.
Yeah, they were given land down here somewhere. I don't remember where, but it was like it's a little hot, so they chose not to.
I'm actually from Tyler.
Okay, I know Tyler. I've been there. Yeah,
City of Roses.
More East Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an hour east of Dallas.
It's really beautiful. They have the tall trees.
Yeah,
and
man, it's amazing.
It's so nice.
I actually went there after college just to get out of the valley for a while.
Yeah. So you were born in Tyler?
Yes.
How long did you live there?
I never lived there because I was like a little baby, so I don't remember. But my mom was a single mother, right? And though she moved down to the valley to be closer to family. And I would just go in the summer. But after college, I went over there and I lived over there for a year. So I lived over there for a year.
Oh, wow.
Just to, you know, I've been living in the valley for a while, so I was like, let me just get out of here, experience something else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's important for everybody, even like people in Hawaii, you know, you might think, oh, they never get tired of the island. They do. Some people have never left the island, which is cool. Like, I love it. But I think, you know, everyone, wherever you're from, you need to go somewhere else just so you can appreciate where you're from even more, you know, and get new experiences, new people, everything.
Yeah, especially when I moved to LA, I was living over there for 2 years.
Oh, nice.
So when I was over there, I was like, wow, like I miss how everyone was really nice back in Texas.
Yes.
Not that people were mean, but, you know, just little things here and there that you were like, oh, I appreciate just those small things that you would get over here. So yeah, you're right. You have to get out to appreciate that. And I know that you're also a model. Can you talk to us about how you started modeling?
Yeah. So when I was younger, I would be, you know, modeling was kind of in my avenue, but my mom was very protective, which I appreciate. And so I didn't really start modeling until college and after. And more of my work, I would say, I've done a lot more, I think, in Hawaii. And a lot of that was resort type work and very active also.
Yeah.
So like it has some...
You do look like that. You look like I would see you in a magazine as I'm traveling in an airplane on my way to Hawaii. And it's like, here's the things to do in Hawaii if you're visiting.
You may have seen that before.
That's what I picture.
Yes. So things like in the kayak or like on my second time on a stand-up paddleboard, there were huge waves and it was for a video I was modeling. And I was like, oh my gosh, because the waves are really coming. They're like, it's fine, we'll just push you out there. So they did. And like, once we got out there, it was fine. But it's just funny. I was like, oh my gosh, I've done the first time, my first experience on a stand-up paddleboard was a nightmare. And then that was my second one. So it's like, here we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, always more of the active or like I said, resort wear.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
And it's always more fun when you're not just sitting and waiting for them to like tell you to like, okay, it's your turn.
Yeah. And sometimes you were too, because they'd have different scenes or whatever. But yeah, usually like snorkeling or I don't know, it's different. And so it's been fun in the valley. It's a different experience. It's more studio work or you know, like working with Backdoor Modern Vintage. It's, you know, very creative.
And how did you meet Yvette from Backdoor Modern Vintage? Yeah,
so Yvette and I met officially through the Phoenix Gallery because I was working on an exhibition called, I think it was Spring Blossom back in 2022. And I also learned how to make flower crowns in Hawaii.
That's how I met you.
So yeah, we did meet that way. And so I was making crowns for the models for the art exhibition and fashion show. And then Yvette was like, I'd love to have you model. And so I said, okay. And that's how we met.
Nice. Yeah, she's always looking for talent.
Yes.
And the Let's Stay Creative was the event where I met you. You had a bunch of crowns for all the models. And we even had a model come up to you and say, oh, I want to be like you. I don't know if you remember that.
She was so sweet, Alina.
Yes.
She's sweet. I just saw her at the Frida Fest, actually.
Oh, yeah.
She came.
I think I saw a picture.
Yeah.
So,
small
like,
world.
what's that like, the community here, like those friendships, like, because you get people of all ages. You get young people, you get older people, like doing all sorts of cool stuff down here. What have you, like, what has stuck with you about that culture of, or that scene down here? Yeah,
I'm really inspired by the scene here in McAllen and beyond. I love seeing people use their talents, whether it's like you here interviewing and discovering about people or the artists painting up the valley, or, you know, in all ages, like you said. I think it's amazing, you know, and we have our educators and
like DJ Star Fox,
DJ Star Fox.
Accountant by day,
yes.
DJ by night.
And she's so fun. I love her. So I treasure these friendships, and she's from California, but has been here for 20 years or something, or a long time. And yeah, I'm really inspired by the opportunity here and the work people are doing, because I think in the past people have been more like, not as active, maybe, from what I'm learning. Yeah, it's not something I
before there was not a lot of people who would like be so open about like their passions. I feel like it was more like in their own little circles. They would do projects, and you had different circles everywhere.
Yeah.
But I feel like now more and more it's becoming a bigger circle.
Yeah.
And I think that's good. That's a good thing, I feel.
Yeah, I think Tanya, another artist, and I were just, Viveros, we're just talking about how we would love to see like the artists in McAllen collaborate with the artists in Brownsville, like see even more. There is some of that happening, but I think that's the next step, is like crossing those boundaries a little bit more.
I feel like it started off and each city had little groups, and now it's becoming a bigger group. Yeah. And now we just need to get all these groups from the cities together.
And we have done some, like last summer, we had an exhibition of not all, but South Texas artists, self-portraits. It was over in Corpus Christi. So I think that's an example of it, but it would be fun.
And so going back to real estate, can you tell me, like, do you feel like there's more people coming down to the valley to live, I guess, more of a accommodating life, more bang for their buck, I would say? I don't know how you would call it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to put it. Definitely the valley is seeing a lot of growth, and there's always construction happening, not just on our roads, but with the housing and new subdivisions and builders building. I think people are seeing the value in I mean, it's really hot right now, let's be honest, but the sunny weather, you know, we have the winter Texans, and but the value of the dollar does stretch a lot farther. We have medical, we have an international airport, you know, and we're in Texas, right?
Next to the beach.
Next to the
SpaceX.
beach. The best beach in Texas. We have SpaceX. Yeah. And, you know, people see that in different ways, but I mean,
no, you're right. It's a very dividing subject.
It is. And we don't have to be, you know, divided about it in our conversation, but it does offer, you know, some opportunity here, possibly. And historical things are happening, regardless of how people want to see it.
What do you think about because of course, if you go to the big cities like Miami, Los Angeles, there are Hispanic and Latinos there that speak English and Spanish, but I feel like the Valley is a little bit more like prevalent with like people speaking at one moment Spanish and then going to English like that. It's like I guess it's more like a culture thing, more of a lifestyle. How has that been for you as a new member of this area?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, I love the culture and the language, but like I was telling you earlier, I used to be bilingual. Like in college, I was almost a double major in Spanish. Yeah. I lived in Saltillo for a semester and a summer and during college, lived with a family there, studied, went to La UAC, all of that. And but living in Hawaii, I got rusty with my Spanish. And so for me, like I can understand it, pero no hablo español mucho, you know, but I can understand it. Yeah. And I'm hoping to get back. So for me, it's been a little bit of a challenge because I feel like it is really important to be bilingual down here. But I do make an effort, and so I think that's
very appreciated.
I think that's good, and I love it. So, but for me, I'm good with it. Just like business wise, I would say that would be my biggest challenge. However, you know, It is what it is.
Yeah.
I think anybody that would come down here, they just need to know, they need to love and respect the culture and be willing to learn.
Yeah, I think if you're willing to learn, people will respect that. And when it comes to like communicating with your clients, like you said, have you ever like needed like a Google Translate or anything like that, or
Yeah,
what's
and
the biggest barrier for you?
probably, I mean, it's probably just me being willing to say I am bilingual, because I mean, I may know more Spanish than some people that say they are.
Yeah, at the beginning I thought you might have been Cuban.
Yeah, it's just I like with real estate, it's legal and you know, contracts and everything, and so I really like hold myself to a high standard when. But I have so many friends that are bilingual and are here to support and like that are in the real estate business that can translate and do those kinds of things for me.
Nice. And you recently switched
Brokerages.
Right.
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, the main.
And can I ask, for those of us that are dumb, what is the purpose of a brokerage?
So in Texas, as a realtor, your first 5 years, you need to be under another broker. And it's just kind of a protection. And they're not your boss or anything like that, but it's just, and that's what it is. So you have a brokerage. And I did recently change brokerages. My new one, I am working with Encore Fine Properties, and I'm on Nash Pixani's team, and he is like the number 1 or number 2 realtor in McAllen. And so I love the energy that is there in our office and just working together. It's been amazing. And plus, the office is going to be right by my house, which as a single mom, that's huge, you know, to be able to like save time, be able to get to the office super quick. It's wonderful. But no, he working here is great because, like I said, the energy and the clients and all of that.
For someone who wants to go into real estate, what are some of your tips or things that you would have told yourself, you know, your younger self? What are some of those things that you would tell people to like watch out for or keep in mind?
Yeah.
Can you share some?
Yeah, I would have a few tips. One, oh goodness, let's see. I have a lot of tips.
Or maybe what has been like your best experience? Like maybe where a client like made you part of their family or like gave you a giant present or maybe you'd like to share, I don't know, maybe you won't like to share like maybe a bad experience where, you know, the complete opposite.
I think with real estate, here's some advice is just take everything with a grain of salt and to just always work hardest for your clients and keep their priorities in mind above your own or anything else. I'm there to protect my clients and to be, you know, their advocates. And so I love, like, even if it takes a year to find them a place, which has happened before, it's like, you know, once you find the place and, you know, you see the joy that they have, it's such a gift. Yeah. And you mentioned, you know, whether, you know, you've become friends, and I always, like with my clients, we do become friends because you go kind of through a journey. It's with a home purchase. It's
a big purchase.
Yeah, it's one of your biggest purchases in your life. And so they're trusting,
not the biggest.
Right, they're trusting me to help them, and I'm trusting them to have their stuff together, you know, so you go through a lot.
The motions.
Yes. Another thing that I love about real estate is, and feel like I do a good job, is like staying calm and peaceful. There's crazy things that happen. Like you can't even believe some of the stories that happen, and you just, to maintain that calm. For whether it's just dealing with yourself or if it is something with a client, to be able to like keep everyone calm and moving through the process. I love that.
And I would assume one of the biggest keys is communication.
Right.
So that everyone knows, okay, this is happening. You don't have to worry about, because failure to communicate could be, you know, as simple as it sounds, it could lead to bad, you know, thinking, or I don't know. There's always there's always a situation that could have been avoided if you had communicated, right?
That is, you said it perfectly. You communicated it perfectly.
Hey, man, I
yes.
should be real estate.
You should. Hey, join my team. So with communication, that is actually something that my clients have repeatedly said, is that I am very communicative with them, and they appreciate that because, you need to be willing to make the phone calls, or just be honest.
Nice. And there's a lot of real estate agents down here.
Oh, yeah.
What do you feel is your biggest advantage versus everyone else?
Yeah. For me personally, with my real estate start being in Hawaii, my advantage is I have worked with clients from around the world. So I have that diversity, literally from around the world. And my first sell was $2.5 million.
Wow.
And so dealing with luxury properties is just like dealing with a property. It's not something that's scary for me or anything like that. So I think that's one of my best qualities, is that whether you're a first-time home buyer in, the $100,000, $200,000 range, or in the multi-million-dollar range, you're all treated with respect, and I can handle the transaction comfortably and calmly.
Nice. So do you only help people buy a home, or do you also help them sell their home?
Yes, do both. Yes.
Oh, wow. Wow. What about like investing? Are you also part of that?
So for
you're
buyer, seller, investor, and I not only work here in the McAllen area, but also I feel like with my background being Maui, South Padre Island is a very easy step for me, because I understand the island lifestyle and what that entails. So I like that.
So that makes sense, because you were over there for 9 years. So you've gathered all this experience, and you're bringing it to the valley.
Yeah.
If someone is willing to ask you, can you tell me more about the valley and why I should buy over there? What would you say to that person?
I would say in the valley we have excellent schools.
Tacos.
We have tacos. Let me tell you, you have amazing taquerias here, and Topo Chico.
Topo
and the homes are, like I said, they're crafted really beautifully. We have, it's a growing area, like we've already talked about, and we have the medical. McAllen was actually voted safest city.
Oh, I heard that.
Multiple times, and the quality of life here. I mean, people may be surprised, but it has been voted in the top 5 for high quality of life in the U.S.
That's awesome.
All people see are, news clippings of, the controversy and everything with the wall and everything happening there. Personally, I feel like we're very, we're insulated, but we're not. I know there's, family ties and things like that. But in general, we don't see, that.
That's true. And can you tell me a little bit more about some of the projects that you might be featured in? We recently did a photo shoot with
I'm all acting surprised about projects. I'm like, oh, what am I doing?
Yeah, I mean, you're always involved in different
There's always
projects.
something happening.
Yeah, how do you go about choosing a project? How do you know if a project is right for you? Because I would imagine you say no to a lot of things. Yeah. Right?
You have to, as a single mom and realtor and all of that. Yes, I do have to limit what I do. And like you were saying, you and I just did a fashion show.
No, I didn't put on a dress. You did.
You recorded us a shoot at a beautiful property here that's for sale. Oh, yeah. Here in McAllen, and they have horses. But that was fun. For me, for that project, that was like a Coco Chanel inspired look. Yeah. I thought that would be really neat. It was, so it depends on if I have the time and then who's involved. I do have an upcoming project with Judas, who you just recently did an interview.
Of course, yeah, he's awesome.
He's amazing, so intelligent, and I'll be I'll be starring in a short film that
Wow.
he wrote and will be directing. And it's incredible. I can't tell you the plot line or anything.
No, don't tell me. I'll
but
probably get mad.
yeah, no, not allowed.
But by the time this comes out, you've already probably recorded it and everything. You never know.
No. We're going to do this in a few months. But so selecting projects, I need to know who's involved and then, the story behind it. And does it go with what I want out in this world?
So what's your dream project? This could be
I feel like I already did a little mini dream this
Which
past spring. I love bridal gowns.
Oh, I think I saw a picture
Yes,
or video of you doing
with
that.
Deanna. There's an amazing wedding dress designer, Deanna Cones, and she has received many awards. She's originally from Mexico, but she does live here in the Valley and has a boutique in Edinburgh.
Nice.
And I was able to model bridal gowns. So that's a little mini dream. I was like, oh, that's so fun. Wow, I conquered that one.
But when did you start acting? Is this something recent or have you acted before?
With my acting, I've mainly done commercials and
not dramas.
No, I was in one short film where it was a real stretch. I was playing a realtor in a haunted house.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
And that was here in the Valley. So,
do you believe in La Llorona?
What's that?
The weeping woman?
Oh, gosh.
La Llorona? Have you heard of that?
I don't know that story.
Oh, because you said haunted. So, there's people down here love scary stories.
Oh, and there's so many haunted places. The place was haunted that we filmed at.
I went to a haunted
mansion. We had
mansion,
some things happen.
Really?
Yeah, while we were filming.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
I need to see this movie.
It was creepy.
The short film.
Yes, it was. That was wild. And I've done some commercials here as well. So this will be, I'm excited. This one's going to stretch me a little bit, this character.
I'm excited to see that.
Thank you.
What does your family say when it comes to your projects, your art, acting, modeling? Are they the type of family that are artistic or they've done things like that? Or it's completely out of their left field and they're very supportive, or what's that like?
Yeah, so my kids are all very artistic, but when it comes to my parents and grandparents and things like that, my mother's an attorney and my father was in business. He worked for Bluebell for many years. Yes, and he did PR for them and different things. But so they're very supportive, although, like I said, my mom is very protective. So we always joke, I'm always I'm a full-grown woman, but she's, still protective. And anyway, but no, they're supportive.
Nice. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
So is there anything you'd like to get off your chest as we're finishing the interview? Is there anything that you'd like to say to the people listening, to the viewers out there? What do you think they should know about Jennifer Poppy?
Okay. I would just like to say, after 2 years of being here in the Valley, I'm very thankful for my time here and that I really love the people here, and I think they have hearts of gold. And I would want them to know that that I really care, and I just appreciate them.
And if you need a house.
And if you need a house or you need to sell your house, be sure to call Jennifer Poppy. You can find me on the gram or jenniferpoppy.com.
I'll link some of your Instagram or whatever it is that you want to send me. I'll put it there. But thank you again for being such a wonderful host here in your house.
Thank you.
Opening your doors. We started with the sun in our face, and now it's going down. So it's been a wonderful time getting to know you a little bit better, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of your projects that are coming in the future and seeing more of the houses that you sell.
Ooh, me too. Let's do it.
So thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Carlos. I appreciate it.